أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear respected guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So today we have heard a lot of inspiring presentations, and also above all we heard the video excerpts of our beloved Hazur, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Khamis. May Allah strengthen his hands. So going forward, we have big goals to achieve, and here I'm going to give you a brief outline of the activities of Ahmadi Women Scientist Association that we want to move, that we are going to look forward in the near future. Next slide, please. So we got the beautiful message of this association in terms of the address delivered by our beloved Hazur, and there were several key points in the address. However, for today, I will focus on two of the key points. Namely, consider it your mission to pursue excellence within your chosen field. And the second key point, Ahmadi students have been instructed to enter the field of academia and research and to endeavor to reach the highest echelons of their fields. Next slide, please. Now, how we can achieve our mission? Hazur has given his directives on what our mission is. But how are we going to achieve it? And that is what you will see in these subsequent slides. The first is to achieve excellence within our chosen fields. So here we have Ahmadi scientists. Already they have selected a field or at the crossroads of selecting a research field. And how can they reach to those high levels of excellence? That's the key goal. Some of the points to consider here are, what is it you're working on? You don't want to be working on something where the field is all full, saturated. You want to work on something that is exciting, that could be an opening for you for more research. Who are the people who are involved in this? Who are the people who are doing the best research, the cutting-edge research? And what are the results that they have achieved? You should widen your knowledge reading the publications in your particular field to see what is going on and how you can come up with better understanding and creative ideas to go forward. The other important point, which also Hazur has discussed, and we heard just now, was having contacts with one another. That is networking. So actually this symposium today seems to be very important to create a panel of networks within our Ahmadi scientists. And you heard from the presentation in the morning, the Fuel for Thought, Baria Alam, and we had a response coming from other scientists who want to collaborate. So it's only when you talk with one another, you share ideas proactively, can you network, and then you can also search your own goals. A third thing is being open to opportunities. And that's it, not being settled with what you have, but going in for more. An important aspect of consideration from the perspective of an Ahmadi Muslim woman is a major work-life balance. So you could go just in one direction and achieve excellence in your field, but you have the Islamic roles of being an Ahmadi Muslim woman, which you need to also fulfill. So you need to balance your work and life so that you can pursue excellence. And above all, seeking inspiration from the Holy Quran constantly, and then tying in or seeking insights into your research and looking into the guidance of the Holy Quran to how you can achieve excellence in your respective fields. Next slide. So looking into this deeply, one thing that came up was, how are we going to motivate, inspire, and encourage these young scientists or the students going forward so that they seek research as their career? And it is not just to the STEM fields, it applies to all scientific research. And today you have heard diverse research topics. It can be very interesting. So how are we going to achieve our mission? It's not a simple task. And what we need here is to analyze what the current status is. So we need to have a baseline. Where are we starting? And where are we going to go? We have to make a baseline chart, and then we have to see from that what increase of that baseline we would want. And in the lower panel, you are seeing a couple of graphs. And these were the graphs that are back from 2018 when I took this office. And at that time, I was thinking that I don't even know who is pursuing research. I don't know what I'm going to do. At that time, we looked into some of the research degrees, the bachelor's, master's, and PhD, and I pulled out that data that we had, and that's what I've shown here. But this is just a very baseline, and it's in 2018. So please don't take this as something very accurate to build upon. It's just to give you in your mind that we could have a chart something like this, or even better in 2020, and then we have to see what are the target we are setting in the next 1 year, and what target we will set up in the next 5 years, and how we move in that target. It's a lot of work. So it means a lot, because if you are looking into the next 2 years, then who are in the high school, junior, senior, they have embarked into their career. They come into the bachelor's. And if you look in 5 years, maybe the ones who have finished their PhD are now at the crossroads to get their research job. So this data is very important for us to collect. Next slide, please. So our next steps would be building an accurate database of Ahmadi women scientists in various STEM fields, and not particularly the STEM fields, but all open to all scientific fields like anthropology, archaeology, and other fields. Then we have to set up defined goals. So these goals have to be concrete goals and with milestones. So if we set up that in 2 months or 5 months, we are going to do this. That's a milestone we have to achieve. In 6 months, we can set up a milestone. Then we make a strategy. So how are we going to get this? How are we going to encourage, for example, the high school students to going into research careers? The minds are open. Those are the target audience we could aspire towards science. We have to make a strategy with them. And then it's not that this is a one-time or one-day job. We make a strategy, we do all this, and we forget. No. We have to review the strategy. We have to make constant review and see where we are, where we have advanced to, what are our challenges, how we can address those challenges. And then another important aspect is to identify mentors. You learn a lot from mentors, and mentorship is something which will help to drive a lot of students into the research pursuits. And we could do this by assigning one-to-one assigning of a mentor and the mentee relationship. And they can have online conferences, or they could even have online guidance. And they could also meet if they are in the same local area. We should arrange that kind of a setup so they are open to discussion and talk what they want to pursue. So these are some of the points that we are thinking of going and implementing in the future. Next slide. So this is what we can do, right? This is what we got inspired from Hazur's message, and this is what we are seeking out to do. But how do we know that we are going to be successful? Success is a very broad term, and success is defined in different ways. But one thing that is important is the Holy Quran teaches us a very powerful dua to success. And that is, Ehdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. Guide us in the right path. This is a very powerful dua, because all professions, all inventions, or any other thing, they can be only undertaken only if you have taken the right approach. And Allah is the knower of the unseen. You can make your strategy, but Allah knows this strategy will work or not. So He's the one who will direct your approach. So you should be reflecting on this prayer a lot. We all should be reflecting on Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim in our research pursuits, because we are making a proposal, we are making an approach, and Allah has to approve of this approach, or if this approach is not favorable for us, He redirects us to the right approach. And then writing to Hazrat Khalifatul Masih for prayers. And this is the greatest advantage of being an Ahmadi Muslim, because it will enable you to rise among other people, other scientists. You have the prayers of the Khalifatul Masih, which are very valuable and which are very strong going forward. So, Jazakallah.